I want to live here. Yeah. I really just feel like if we were to ever settle anywhere, we looked at Beverley and it was like, we could live here, we want to live here. Good afternoon. So it is afternoon now because when you live in a van, everything just seems to start late, or maybe that's just us. I don't know. It might say more about us, or it might say more about living in a van. It probably says something about both, to be honest, because it takes ages to get started. You know, when you live in a house, you don't have to get up and pack things up before you start your day, do you? Anyway.
Hi.
So today the sun's out, Stephen. How amazing is that?
Hi.
I don't know how long it's going to last, but it is, so we'll grasp it with both hands. And we've just come to the city of York in, I don't know what county it's in.
North Yorkshire.
North Yorkshire, right. Thank you, Stephen. We've come to York. Now, you've been before, haven't you, years ago?
Yeah, a long time ago.
But I've never been, and I don't know if you can remember anything of it. So we've come here. We thought we'd better come here in a van because it's got to be done. I think parking is a bit difficult. However, in terms of overnighting, there are quite a few park and rides. There are tons around the outskirts. Yeah, at least, I think. And the one we're in actually has a specialist camper van spot. So you can come in and you park your van and go out for the day and get on the bus. But you can't stay overnight, which, you know, okay, fair enough. But it is interesting they've actually got a dedicated motorhome spot, but you can't stay overnight in it. Maybe they've had people just like staying too long or something, I don't know.
I think they've just got complaints from local businesses that they lose their kind of revenue if people stay in their vans. But it's such a minority.
Not in York, surely. Like,
it's such a minority of us that do this, really.
And it's somewhere like York, which is just world famous and gets so many visitors. Is that really going to suffer with people who are going to come and clearly stay in hotels anyway? Like, people, like you say, it's a very small minority in vans compared to the majority of visitors going in. I can't see it makes a difference, but that's a whole other debate. Anyway, that's it really. We're going to get sorted, go out and get the bus and go and explore York. Let's go and have a look.
Let's go.
Steve, we're on a bus, Steve.
Aye.
I feel like we're going on a school trip or something.
Groundbreaking.
Yeah, I know. Well, it is. We don't go on buses very often.
No.
And we're sitting at the front. How exciting. There's always something exciting about sitting at the top of a bus. I don't know why.
You look like you're going to hit everything.
It does. Well, that's exciting, the fact that you look like you're going to hit everything.
Yeah.
That's slightly strange.
It's dangerous.
But you're not quite wrong either. And what was it? It was about £5.40 for the pair of us.
Yeah.
So that's a return, and then you don't pay for the parking, so that's just for the bus. So that's really good, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Pretty good indeed. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, because if you remember from some of our previous videos, we've got a National Trust membership, and obviously it's been quite a while because we've been abroad, so now we're back, we want to try and make the best of it. So there is one in the middle of York, which is really handy, and it's called the Treasurer's House, so that's where we're going to go. It's not one of the massive ones that we've been to before, it's relatively small. We're going on a guided tour, by the way, so we don't actually know if we can film anything.
Aye.
We'll see, otherwise I'll just talk about it afterwards.
Aye.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Well, we're out of the Treasurer's House. What did you think of the tour, Stephen? It took just over an hour, didn't it?
It was interesting. The house was nice to see, but it was too rushed. Like, I couldn't really look at stuff properly. It was all very show and tell, and I just kind of wanted to look at the paintings properly.
Yeah.
Look at stuff properly, which you couldn't because one, they were just talking, and obviously you just have to stand there and listen. And then it was moving on to the next room, and there was too many tours going at once. No, I mean, it's nice to see, but I would have been really annoyed if I actually paid out the full price for that.
It's a ringing endorsement for National Trust from Stephen again.
Well,
No, but it's true. We've noticed with these things now, we prefer to sort of see things and walk around freely, which I think most people do, really, don't they? And then read up on it as they go. But this was the only way to see it. So obviously, if you've got no choice, still do it. But as Stephen said, would I pay out for it on its own? Probably not. But obviously, if you've got the membership like we have, then we're going to use it.
yeah.
But one story that I found really interesting that I read online, it was on the National Trust site, and they didn't bring it up, I think they might do that on separate tools, is, you know, do we believe in ghosts? I don't know, but this story is kind of quite striking. So underneath the house is a Roman road. It runs directly underneath the house. Now, in the 1950s, there was a man, a plumber, and he was installing a new boiler. And while he was doing that, he kind of said, while he was in the basement putting the boiler in, that the walls kind of just started to disappear, and he kind of saw these Roman soldiers just kind of slowly march through. He could describe their outfits and everything. He thought he could even describe their ages. He didn't tell anyone about this. He told nobody about it for at least 10 years because he thought people would think he was mad or drunk on the job while putting a boiler in, so he just kept it entirely to himself and thought nothing else of it, I guess. But it wasn't until the Roman road was uncovered and discovered after his story, they uncovered the road, and he, you know, that kind of shocked him because it all fit into place. Like, why did he see these soldiers going through, and he wouldn't have known about the road, the Roman road? So, you know, I'm not saying that's true. I'm not saying we don't know, do we? We have no idea. Yeah, just quite a little interesting ghost story there, I thought.
I'll tell you what else is interesting.
What's that?
Food.
Oh yeah, food. We're really hungry. We were hungry before we went in, so let's go and find something to eat in York. We've just had a banana and an apple, but that's just not cutting it, really. So
Yeah.
we need something better. Right, well, it's budget o'clock today, Tesco meal deal time. Sometimes it's just got to do, isn't it? We did walk around for a bit, but everywhere was quite expensive, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And we have paid out for quite a bit recently, so it's a bit like, nope, fall back on the Tesco meal deal. Can't go wrong. Well, you can, because it's not that interesting, but
Oh, we're hungry, so...
£6 something for the two of us, that's not bad for lunch. If we'd gone in somewhere, it would have been like 30 quid, so, you know, every penny counts. While we sit here on the banks of the river... What river is it, Steve? I didn't look it up either. The River Water, yeah. That's running by York. You know, we're looking around for something to eat, and some days we pay out for things, some days we don't. You know, sometimes we're a bit tight, sometimes we have to be. But like, even looking in Nando's, and it's like, I haven't been in one for ages, but that was like, what was it, Stephen, about 15 quid?
Yeah.
For a
portion of chicken and two sides.
Some chicken and two sides. It's like, come on, your Nando's, your glorified fast food, like, that's then 30 quid for the two of us, not including drinks probably.
Yeah.
That just seems nuts for what Nando's is. Like, you're not the Ivy,
And if
you know what I mean?
If you've ever been to Nando's, you know that those sides are actually really tiny.
Yeah, they are. It's not even, maybe we will say we were spared there. I think that was sensible not to go in there.
Yeah.
And there were a few other choices, but a lot of it did seem quite pricey, and today seemed one of those tightening our belts days, which is fine. So the Tesco meal deal did its job,
I think it's to be expected if you come somewhere that's a big city town.
Yeah.
City town.
City town.
City town. So meal deal it is.
No, it's fine.
You just need a bit of fuel just to keep wandering around.
Yeah, I was starting to really flag then, so you know, I could start eating grass and that would do the job, quite frankly, at this point.
Alright.
Oh, that's free actually. Grass is free.
Oh yeah.
It's good enough for the geese, they're eating it over there, so you know, it might work out. And talking of rip-offs with food and things like that, now I know this didn't really matter because it was all part of the Tesco meal deal, but if you bought them separately it would matter. So Stephen's got one of those big grab bags of crisps, so they say. I've just got a regular sized one, right? So your grab bag is how many grams?
45.
45 grams. My regular bag is 37.5. I mean, it's hardly any different, is it? So if you buy them separately in the shop, I'm pretty sure the grab bags cost quite a bit more than the regular ones, and yet the difference is like negligible, really. Oh, the rip-off world. We'll stop nattering because otherwise we're just running out of time.
Yeah.
All right then. Look what's happened again, Stephen. A touristy place, a year-round bloody Christmas shop.
No.
But nothing's going to compare to Rottenberg after this, that is it really?
No.
So yeah, we're in York and there's a Christmas shop. Of course, it all fits yet again.
No.
Oh God. Well, we just walked down one of York's most famous streets, the Shambles. What did you think, Stephen?
Busy.
Busy is definitely the word. You couldn't move, you couldn't breathe. Very pretty, but you'd be lucky to really get a chance to look at it properly because it was just like a constant crowd moving through and doing the same as what we're doing. Of course, we're just as guilty as taking photos, etc. But yeah, it was quite a lot.
It is so busy here, and that's good that it's thriving, and there's nothing else you should expect any different from coming somewhere like here, but oh my lord, it is exhausting.
So the Shambles in York, okay, so it's one of the most famous streets here, probably the most famous, and in recent years it's become famous because of its Harry Potter connection. So it is said that the Shambles, with its lovely medieval buildings, its narrow street, buildings overhanging the side, it's said that the Shambles inspired Diagon Alley in Harry Potter. But the hilarious thing is, when you look this up, first of all, it was never filmed there, so I think a lot of people assume it was possibly filmed there. It definitely wasn't. And there's actually no evidence that J.K. Rowling was actually inspired by that thing. She hasn't confirmed it. There's nothing to say for definite, so nobody really knows for sure. However, they've gone really hard on the magical theme. There's a proper Harry Potter shop there, so if you love Harry Potter, you're going to love that shop because it's all Harry Potter themed. You had to kind of wait outside to get in, it's that popular. And there's a few other magic related shops as well. So they've really kind of leaned into that theme, but it's just funny that there's no real evidence that it's actually got a proper connection to Harry Potter. But ironically, Harry Potter was filmed in York, but at the train station. You know the bit where they look, I don't know Harry Potter that well, okay, but the bit
where they run through the wall.
Yeah, where they go on the station and then to the whatever where they go off to, that bit. That was, some of that I think was filmed at York Station or one of the places round here. So yeah, it's interesting that that's famous for Harry Potter, but it's actually not definitely got anything to do with it. But the Shambles is actually, its history is much darker than that really. So the reason it's so narrow and the way it is, it's one of the best preserved medieval streets, I think, is that right? Possibly in Europe. And it's narrow because I think the Shambles stands for something to do with slaughtering and butchering. So it used to be full of slaughterhouses and butchers where they'd slaughter the meat, and the blood would run down the rivets down in the road on the outside. But it was also narrow so that a cart could move along and I think either pick up the butchered meat or drop things off, but also picking up the corpses of people that died in the plague. So, you know, it's just pretty much a handyman. Yeah, Shambles is pretty much a handyman of all the grotesque things in human nature. And also human sewage used to regularly run down the street as well. So not quite the lovely fluffy Harry Potter connection that it's got now, something much darker and, well, unfortunately realistic for the time.
Aye.
So that was the Shambles, but it was too busy, it was too much. That was just a bit of a nightmare.
Yeah.
Still.
So where's next?
I don't know. We're just going to wander around now. I need a wee, that's where's next.
Yeah.
Toilet. Come on, let's go. So we've come up onto the city walls. We thought we read that you had to pay to walk on these, so we're kind of half expecting somebody to kind of leap out with a purse, demanding our money in a minute. But so far, maybe not. It seems like it's been all right. So maybe it's like a tour that's paid.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's a different part of the walls. So this is nice. It's something you can do freely, and they just lock it up at dusk, according to the signs. Actually quite peaceful up here. There's a few people walking, but it's nice to get out of the town and the crowds for a bit, because it feels very hectic. It's a beautiful place, but just a little bit full on. We were just saying that nothing's going to beat the walls in Rottenburg, Obdertauber in Germany. So that was a few videos back by now, quite a few videos back, but like, it feels like nothing will compare to that. So we're walking around this, we're appreciating it and we're impressed, but you're always going to compare, aren't you, when you've seen something similar. The more you look at this when the bus is moving, the more it makes you feel sick, because you realise the movement. And we've got to find a place to rest our merry heads once again. But you know what, did like York. We wish we could have shown off a bit more, but we're just too tired, and it was just too late in the day by the time we'd finished, wasn't it?
Walking around for 5 hours.
Yeah.
You know, if we didn't see enough stuff.
Yeah, exactly. We saw it. I think we showed off like as much as we could really in that time, in a day.
Right.
So that wasn't too bad.
There are loads of things to do though, but they all cost money.
Yeah, they do. And we were feeling particularly tight today.
Aye.
But that's fair enough. You got to have days like that.
Indeed.
Evening, Steve.
Evening, Steve.
Evening, Steve.
Stevening.
Sounds like a Stevening.
Stevening.
Sounds like a poem, doesn't it? We're going to settle down for the night. I'm going to do some cooking in a minute. We're going to have, I'm not going to film it because I can't be asked. So we're going to have one of our condensed mushroom soup pasta jobs. If you've seen it before. These days. Well, we love it now, don't we? So we're going to have that, but we're not going to have it with pasta. I think we're going to have it with rice tonight, and I'm going to put some pepper and spinach and some other bits and bobs in. And that's it. We will see you tomorrow, and we're going to go and explore the little town of Beverley.
Aye.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Good morning. So today is an attempt at a healthy breakfast day. That's the coconut yogurt. We've got porridge. We've got a little bit of milk because we've nearly run out. Kiwi fruit, a banana, and some honey on top. Oh, and some, oh God, what's that stuff called? And some flaxseed as well. I don't know what good it does for you, but it sounds like it's healthy, so we may as well go along with it. Oh, what a change. It is so humid today. The sun's out. I've just been for a run and I'm absolutely dripping in sweat now. So we're in this little car park. We're just outside the town of Beverley. It's really peaceful as well, isn't it? So we've got a couple of other vans for company, but not many other cars have turned up, just a few people to walk their dogs. And there's a disused railway track that's been just turned into a walking path that goes to the next town. So that was really handy for running this morning because it was just one straight line. I could just go to a certain length and come back again. And we're going to get ready and go and explore Beverley. I don't sound very enthusiastic, but I am. I'm looking forward to it.
Aye.
I don't know what's there, but it's nice to look around the little small town sometimes.
Aye.
Is it a historic market town, Steve?
I don't know.
It probably is.
I don't know. Eat your breakfast and we'll go and have a look.
All right. So we've just got to, I was about to say we've just got to Narnia. So I'm just reading something. We've come out of the closet, we've gone into it again, Steve.
No.
We have just arrived in Beverley, and we had a bit of a nightmare, didn't we, trying to park? It seemed really difficult. But we found somewhere. We're parked in the local Conservative club. I feel a bit sick at that, do you? But like, never mind, you know, it's just a parking spot, whatever. So the first thing we did, we've come to the church, and it's called St Mary's Church. Now this is amazing. Like, for churches of small towns, it's a massive church, and it's really kind of Gothic looking. It looks really impressive. So already I'd say come here to see that. It's free to look inside. You just give a little donation of your choice, which is good. But what's really interesting about St Mary's Church is there's a tiny rabbit carving. We couldn't see masses because it felt like they were setting up for a service and they were going to start filming, so I couldn't film everything. We kind of had to make it really quick. But there's a tiny carving of a rabbit with a satchel bag on the side, and it's just on the side of a door. You would miss it if it wasn't pointed out to you. And it was said that inspired the rabbit in is it the Mad Hatter?
Alice in Wonderland.
In Alice in Wonderland. Is it the Mad Hatter? No.
He goes to the Mad Hatter's tea party.
Oh, hang on. Right, we're getting this wrong now. What's the other rabbit? Is it the one that she follows down the hole?
Yeah,
is
the
that
white
the Mad
rabbit.
Hatter?
No, the Mad Hatter's the Mad Hatter from.
Mad Hatter's not a rabbit, is it?
No.
Oh yeah. Oh.
The rabbit. He's late. He's late for a
That's
very
it, that
important
rabbit.
date, and he goes down the. He's the white rabbit.
That
She
one.
follows the white rabbit.
Right, ka-ching, start again. Okay, so the rabbit, the little carving of the rabbit, that was said to have inspired the one that Stephen just said that she follows down the actual hole into Wonderland. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. It was inspired by that, apparently. But who can say? Much like the Lord of the Rings door in Stow in the Wold, these tales take hold, but I don't know if there's any evidence of it. So yeah.
No.
All right, so let's carry on looking. So we really thought the church was impressive, the other end of town, but we've come to the opposite end, and there's an even grander building in this relatively small town, although there's actually quite a lot here. It's a lot bigger than we thought, and it looks like a giant cathedral. So this is Beverley Minster, it's called, and York had a minster as well, and I was a bit like, what the hell's a minster? Like, I'll be honest, I've never heard of that before. Probably just because I've never been to a place that's called, where one's called that. They're nearly always called cathedrals. So I looked it up, and apparently cathedrals they're kind of the same thing, but cathedrals were called that because they only were named that after the Norman conquest in 1066, and minsters were from older times, so they were from Anglo-Saxon times, and they tended to call their churches minsters. So that's where this dates, that's where the York one dates, and I'm presuming that's where the Beverley one dates to as well. Originally, probably not the same building, but that's how they've got the name Minster instead of cathedral, I think. So we've come back to our little spot that we were in earlier, just outside Beverley. It sounds really noisy here because there's a main road, but it's actually quite peaceful, and it's definitely peaceful at night. And we've decided we've caught enough sun today, so because we've had a rare chance to get the solar out, we've done that, put it at the side. Hopefully the sun, because you have to consider these things, is actually setting in that direction if we've worked it out right, which should mean that stays in the sunlight for a few hours. And I'm going to get on and make one of these little video things. So it's been a while really, because quite often recently we've had to be on electric hookup because of the weather, so it's quite nice to get that out in order to be able to do this. Right, good afternoon. It is now the next day from whatever you last saw on this video. I don't even know what that was now. And we're just packed up, getting ready to go. It is a beautiful, hot and sunny day. So yeah, this is fantastic for once, except when you're actually working on the laptop in the van, then it's not so fantastic. But hey ho. Managed to get some solar going, didn't we, which is good. So we charged up our portable battery pack, which meant we could use the laptop, which meant we could finish one of these, which is great. Just quickly though, Beverley, what do you think?
I really like Beverley.
Oh,
it's
my
really
God.
Nice. It's
Love
really
it.
nice. Yeah, definitely I preferred it over York.
Yeah,
No
definitely.
offence, York, but I much preferred Beverley.
Yeah, 100%.
It is a really nice little place here.
I want to live here.
Yeah.
I really just feel like if we were to ever settle anywhere, we looked at Beverley and it was like, we could live here, we want to live here. Like, I don't know, I don't think we can do that. I mean, I'm not going to go into all that now, but it's like we either have to, if we were to do that, we probably have to stop being in the van altogether, and go back to our regular lives, if you like, or there might be another way around it, but probably not. But for future, maybe.
I think we'd still keep the van, we'd still go travelling and
Yeah.
stuff, but the channel would not survive, I don't think.
I don't know,
if
maybe.
we'd be able to do enough stuff to
Part-time van
keep
trips
people interested,
might be
I
alright.
guess.
Well, we'd have to work harder, wouldn't we?
But we're not planning on coming out the van yet anyway, so
No.
you know, whatever.
It's all hypothetical, but the fact is, if we did settle down somewhere, we looked at Beverley and it's like, oh my God, we absolutely loved it. And I don't think the video really brought that out. So really sorry, Beverley, we didn't do you much justice, because we kind of rushed back to the car park to leave to do something. But yeah, sometimes when you do these videos, like we often split 2 locations at least across them, and we never really know. Sometimes with one of them you think, oh damn, that could have been a whole video, and I feel like we could have spent a bit more time in Beverley doing that. You know, no disrespect to York, but there's plenty of videos on York out there, and it's such a big, well-known city that, you know, we didn't feel the need to do as much on that, whereas Beverley, I felt like we wanted to show it off a bit more. And I don't think the clips really kind of did it as much justice as it should have done, but whatever, it's a beautiful, beautiful town, and yeah, we really love it. I want to live in Beverley. One day maybe, eh?
With that, we're going to end the video now. So please press on your like. Please press on your like button. Likes are important.
Yeah.
Subscribe if you haven't done so
Thank
already,
you.
and push your notification bell. And we will see you on the next one.
We'll see you on the next trip. Thank you for watching. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.